Good morning, I'm Kenneth Moten.
And I'm Janae Norman. Here are the top 5 things to know this Friday. Number 1, the showdown with Iran.
Sources tell ABC News President Trump ordered a military strike against Iran, then abruptly called it off while the plan was already underway. The strike would have been retaliation for Iran shooting down a U.S. spy drone.
It's unclear why President Trump called off the strike at the last minute. Much more on this coming up shortly.
Number 2, a bombshell at the murder trial of a decorated Navy SEAL Commander Edward Gallagher.
A fellow Navy SEAL, a key witness in the case, now claims he killed an ISIS fighter in Iraq, not Gallagher.
But prosecutors say they are not dropping the murder charge against Gallagher. The trial continues.
On to number 3 now. Former Vice President Joe Biden is hoping to move beyond the controversy sparked by his remarks about working well with segregationist senators.
Biden met last night with members of the Congressional Black Caucus, some of whom say they are not bothered by his comments. And he called Senator Cory Booker, a fellow Democrat, after pushing back when Booker asked him to apologize. The senator said he explained to Biden why his language was problematic.
I understood where his intentions were. I understood where his heart was. The fact is, though, it's not about me or him. He said things that are hurtful and are harmful. I believe he should be apologizing to the American people and having this discussion.
Booker described the conversation as good and constructive, and he said he felt better understood after the call.
We head to the NBA for number 4 and the number 1. Zion Williamson says his emotions took over after he was chosen first in the draft last night.
It was very sweet to watch. He is headed to the Big Easy to play for the New Orleans Pelicans. He held it together on stage, but got emotional later during an interview with ESPN.
My mom sacrificed a lot for me. I wouldn't be here without my mom. She did everything for me. I just want to thank her.
Keeping that for 10
He
years.
says his mother put her dreams aside so he could pursue his.
And he absolutely is living his dream now. Finally, number 5, some important news for men. The shape of your nose can apparently determine your attractiveness to women.
Researchers at Stanford asked 500 women to look at 3 types of nose shapes: straight noses, hump noses, and ski slope noses, and rate them on traits like intelligence, potential leadership, ability, and attractiveness.
They decided hump noses were least approachable and least successful, and the straight noses intelligent, but they concluded the ski slope noses were the most attractive overall.
Summertime, summertime, and it's morning, America.
Good Friday morning. Thank you for joining us. Let's get right to breaking news overnight. ABC News has confirmed that President Trump ordered a military strike against Iran, but then called it off at the last minute.
Sources say the president suddenly reversed his decision with planes already in the air and ships already in position. The move came less than 24 hours after Iran shot down a U.S. drone, insisting it strayed into their airspace.
ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi begins our live coverage from Washington. Mona, good morning.
Good morning, Janae, and good morning to you, Kenneth. Both countries have reiterated that they do not want to go to war. But when asked about the possibility, Iran says they're ready, while President Trump says, you'll find out. Tensions with Iran reaching new heights as President Trump approved retaliatory airstrikes against the Islamic Republic for shooting down a U.S. surveillance drone.
Iran made a mistake.
But sources tell ABC News the operation was underway when Trump abruptly called it off. Despite the reversal, the president insists he's not being pressured into conflict.
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, in many cases, it's the opposite.
This latest standoff adding to a week of hostilities between the two nations, beginning with the U.S. accusing the Islamic Republic of attacking 2 oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman. Iran has denied conducting the attacks, but did claim responsibility for shooting down the U.S. drone you can see in these images falling from the sky. The country's ambassador to the UN telling NPR, quote, "We tried to caution the drone through radio transmission, but then says, quote, since it was a spy drone, we were left with no other option." Pentagon officials refute those claims.
This was an unprovoked attack on a U.S. surveillance asset that had not violated Iranian airspace.
Late Thursday, President Trump summoned congressional leaders to the Situation Room for an emergency briefing on the situation, where some members from both parties urged for caution.
We're worried that he and the administration may bumble into a war.
Meanwhile, the president's closest allies on the Hill are encouraging him to take aggressive action.
The only way Iran changes its behavior is if they believe America will put options on the table that would create pain for the regime.
And sources tell ABC News the situation would have escalated quickly had the plan been carried out. Officials feared that the attack could have caused hundreds of civilian casualties. Janae?
That would have been a bad situation. And Mona, do you know anything more about why the president changed his mind after already ordering the strike?
Well, right now, Janae, that is unclear why the president decided to, at the last minute, change his mind. But we do know, and our sources are telling us, that he did so against the advice of his Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, and his National Security Advisor, John Bolton. Janae, Kenneth?
So some disagreements within the administration there. Mona, thank you for joining us. Also breaking overnight, the FAA has halted U.S. commercial air traffic over Iran, affecting flights over the Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman because of safety concerns.
The ban is in effect until further notice. Earlier, United Airlines suspended flights between Newark and Mumbai, India, because they fly over that region.
Stay with ABC News for the latest on the crisis in Iran. We'll bring you any new developments as soon as we get them on air and here online.
In other news, the Supreme Court has ruled that a 40-foot cross on public land in Maryland does not violate the separation of church and state.
The majority opinion said the nearly 100-year-old monument to fallen World War I soldiers has a special significance as a symbol of sacrifice. The ruling was 7-2, with Justices Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sonia Sotomayor dissenting, saying the principal symbol of Christianity should not loom over public spaces. Administration lawyers blocked former White House Communications Director Hope Hicks from answering questions more than 150 times as she testified on Capitol Hill this week.
That's according to the newly released transcript from the House Judiciary Committee, which is looking into possible obstruction by President Trump. The lawyers claimed Hicks was immune from discussing her time working at the White House, but Hicks told lawmakers she would not accept dirt on a political opponent from a foreign government, contrary to President Trump's answer to our own George Stephanopoulos.
In Philadelphia, the police commissioner says 72 officers are now off the streets after a watchdog group claimed they posted racist comments on social media. Protesters stormed City Hall, calling for the officers to be fired. The police union says any disciplinary action is premature, but the commissioner says the department won't hesitate to take action.
We will not be shy about meting out the appropriate discipline, which could range from, in many cases, a day or so off, all the way up to termination. It makes me sick, to be honest with you. It really makes me sick because we are in a position to know better.
The group known as the Plainview Project says it has also identified racist social media postings by individuals who claim that they are police officers in 7 other U.S. cities. In St. Louis, 22 officers are under investigation.
Meanwhile, Sacramento police are remembering an officer killed after less than 1 year on the force. Tara O'Sullivan was shot while responding to a domestic violence call. She was honored last night during a police academy graduation ceremonies. The 26-year-old was considered family at a local university.
This morning, when I was trying to explain to my daughters why I was so upset about my student, the only thing I could think of to explain to them was that she was a hero.
A hero indeed. The shooting suspect is charged with murder. His criminal record dates back 2 decades.
Moving on to some test trouble in a school district about 100 miles from Charlotte, North Carolina. North Carolina has education officials apologizing. They say more than 400 high school juniors never got their ACT scores back because their tests were never submitted. Human error is being blamed. Arrangements are being made for those kids to retake the test free of charge.
No. Just go ahead and give me the perfect score and we'll move on.
Good.
I'll take that instead. All right, and a new study says forget 3-day weekends to improve your mental health. Try 6 days off.
Sign me up.
Researchers in Great Britain say working 1 day a week is the key to the best mental health. The study found more than 8 hours per week of work provide no additional boost to mental well-being.
How do you pay bills like that?
You don't.
Guess
But
that
you got
won't work.
all those days off.
With no money.
All right, well, coming up, we've got a preview of the hottest summer styles.
Stick around for expert tips on how to look your best at the beach. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Now to the rare attack off the California coast. A teenager was standing in knee-deep water when a sea lion grabbed onto her leg.
And her friend caught it all on camera. And this morning, experts say they likely know why that sea lion attacked.
A fun day at the beach in California turned into a terrifying experience for this 13-year-old. Video shows a sea lion charging towards Megan Pagini, biting her leg.
I started screaming as loud as I possibly could to see if someone could help me.
Megan was standing in the surf and says she never saw the animal coming.
I was just playing around, I was jumping and dancing and having fun, when all of a sudden it came out of nowhere and bit my leg.
Wildlife officials say sea lions are typically playful animals, but they can be unpredictable. Back in 2017, a sea lion dragged this little girl into the water in Canada. She was pulled to safety by a relative. Still, experts say attacks like these are rare.
There are many thousands of surfers that use the water every day in California. There are many people that go in the water, and this type of event is extremely unusual.
Wildlife officials say the female sea lion that bit Megan tested positive for a toxin produced by algae. The toxin, called domoic acid, is found naturally, but at unsafe levels, it can cause brain damage and violent behavior in marine life. Experts say the California coast is seeing higher than usual levels of domoic acid, possibly because of the warmer ocean temperature and fertilizer runoff, which boost algae growth.
What we're seeing is larger sea lions coming ashore, presenting symptoms such as confusion, disorientation, and even seizures on the beach.
The toxin can also take a toll on humans who eat shellfish, causing headaches, nausea, even short-term memory loss. As for Megan, she's just hoping for a speedy recovery.
I thought they were just so cute and little, and now I think they're really scary, and I don't ever want to get near one or see one ever again.
The sea lion is being treated by the Marine Mammal Center, which says about 24 sea lions with domoic poisoning have been rescued in recent days.
Let's check our notifications, starting with some of Minnesota's finest who answered the call of man's best friend.
This furry guy, his name's Jack. Wednesday, he got a hold of his owner's phone at their home outside Minneapolis and turned it into a chew toy. And somehow, through all the crunching, Jack managed to call 911. So, of course, officers responded because it sounded as though it was a hang-up. St. Louis Park Police say they gave Jack some advice on how to use 911 and probably also gave him a treat.
We'll see if he listens.
Yeah.
Next, some firefighters had a genius solution to helping some ducklings. The Littleton, Colorado crew got down in a storm drain and got 4 little ducks into a box, but 4 others were pretty stubborn.
So trying to figure out how to get them, one firefighter pulled up some duck calls on YouTube on his phone, played them into the pipe, and that did it.
So smart.
All little ducklings came.
Yeah, all 8 were reunited with their mother in a field nearby. So nice job by those firefighters.
Quick thinking. And one man is finally ready for summer. After 2 years of work, his tropical tiki garden is finally finished, so he and his wife don't even have to leave home to be on vacation. Take a look at this. Very impressive.
That is so impressive. Apparently his wife wasn't able to, as she said, go on holiday, wanted to be nice. He wins a lot of points for this one, and that looks pretty epic.
Absolutely. Spent a lot of money, but...
Look, you're always on those trips, so maybe if you just did something like that, you wouldn't have to spend so much money.
Maybe you're right. If I can get that kind of staycation, I'm up for it. Speaking of being ready for summer, we are so ready. But remember, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt.
Before you hit the sand, the surf, or even just the hiking trail, there are a few safety tips you should keep in mind. Time for some summer fun in the sun, but first, make sure you're covered and ready for potential dangers. In Ocean City, Maryland in 2015, a bystander captured this terrifying video of wind gusts, turning these umbrellas into projectiles. Tip from the pros, make sure that beach umbrella is at least 16 inches down in the sand.
You can either use a shovel to dig the hole deep enough to set the stake and pack it in, or once you drive the stake into the sand, rock it back and forth. That typically gets it in deeper into the sand.
In the water, know how to survive those dangerous rip currents. The powerful currents, which can quickly pull a swimmer out, account for more than 80% of rescues by lifeguards. ABC's Gio Benitez with the potentially life-saving demonstration.
Instead of swimming directly toward shore, we're going to swim sort of diagonally.
Experts say don't fight, just swim parallel to shore. Also remember, beachgoers, you're not alone. With shark attacks recently making headlines, know how to survive one. Swim in groups, know first aid, and fight back like Charlie Winter did to save his daughter Paige off the coast of North Carolina.
I pulled her up, you could see the shark come up right with her, and then you just immediately just start beating it with everything you could.
From the beach to the swimming pool, A renewed warning for parents when it comes to the kids. With 76% of drowning deaths in the U.S. each year involving children younger than 5, pool safety is key. In Massachusetts, a consumer watchdog group displayed a variety of toys that can be hazards for kids.
What happens is the water rings that fit around a child's waist can flip and a child's head can get stuck under the water.
Some good tips in there. We want you to stay safe.
Absolutely.
Be responsible this summer.
Have lots of fun, but make it to fall.
Definitely.
Well, enough with the scary side of summer. Let's move on to the styles. Our special fashion correspondent, Will Gans, has the latest looks you can work by the water.
Thanks. Summer is officially here, and whether you're headed to a 4th of July party or a beach bash, you can make a splash at any pool party without ever jumping into the deep end. Celeb stylist Dennis Kenny is here to show us how to heat up our summer wardrobe. Yes. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We brought the beach to you today.
I know. I love it. We are ready to party this summer away and look fabulous.
I am here for it. All right, so looking fabulous. Talk to me about briefly the big summer trends you're seeing this season.
Oh my God, amazing trends. Florals, prints, laser designs, neons, fun. And you know what? I want you to think about the full cohesive look, not just the suit, the accessories, the mood.
Amazing. And speaking of the mood, we have the models here to bring it.
Well, I got to bring it to the studio, of course.
All right. Who do we have first over here?
First, I want the Saint-Tropez vibe. Just walking in fashionably late. Gorgeous, oversized, rimmed hat. It's just stunning with a cover-up. It's beautiful for any body type. It flows from Vince Camuto. And then this one piece I love. Look at that plunge. Just a little bit of a deep drama. The gold embellishment. And can we please look at the shoes? Please, cameras, get on these shoes. Cork shoes. This is a new hot trend right now. It's a must-have. Lengthening the leg and just overall fabulous, but still chic.
Fabulous and chic and making a one-piece sexy. I love it.
Absolutely. She can have her Titanic moment in front of the ship right there. Let us see the flow. Let's see the flow. Yes. Success.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. All right, who do we have next?
Well, the women cannot have all the fun. The guys, we got to join in, right?
Of course.
Here we don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's more just playing with fabric. Lighten it up. It's hot, so we go to linen, light aqua turquoise, and then Nautica has got it right on all of the guys' swimsuits. Coral, this is a must-have color, particularly for the men. The marlin print plays off beautifully. And then I'm bringing the shoe game big time. Sandals, jelly sandals.
Jelly sandals.
You need them in every color.
And it's incredible because if you're at the beach, those can get sandy, they can get wet, and you don't have to worry about ruining your shoes.
Exactly. Then someone sees you, and it's a conversation piece. You know, it's just something that sparks a little bit of fun and spontaneity. That's what we want to do.
I love it. And these colors make anybody look tan, whether you've been hiding in a studio all summer long.
You darn right. They are very complimentary and just a real nice flow. He doesn't look like he's trying too hard, but he is well thought out.
I love it. All right, and you've brought one more fabulous look for us.
Well, here's the thing. Black and white does not always have to be boring, so I wanted to kind of reinvent the basic black. You know how you do that? With a laser print and a beautiful embellished ruffled shoulder. Particularly with a slender frame, you bring out the ruffle, it just balances and it's fabulous. A sarong, you can't go wrong. A sensible gold espadrille, and can we talk about the bag, please? This bag is going to sell out everywhere. A super cute fisherman bag. Come on. I mean, you walk in right there, finish it with some Anna Beck jewelry, and it's heads turning left and right.
Heads turning left and right. That bag really is fabulous. You bring the beach with you.
It's cute. And you know what? People say, okay, I can't wear the heel. Well, you know what? Bring a little flip-flop in the bag. Put them out after the pool, and you're done.
And you're done. But before we're done, I want to bring everybody back out here. Models, thank you so much for coming to our beach party this morning. Dennis, thank you. If folks want more information on any of these looks, where can they go?
Style with Den on all social media outlets. I will get you through summer, and then I'll take care of you in the fall, too.
Well, we'll bring you back in the fall. We'll need you. Thank you so much. Dennis, thank you, models. Everyone else, we'll be right back.
Here's what to watch out for today. Democrats running for president in 2020 will be in the great state of South Carolina tonight for Congressman Jim Clyburn's world-famous fish fry, a nearly 30-year tradition that's become a crucial event for those seeking the state's early primary votes.
Meanwhile, in Washington, President Trump and the First Lady host a congressional picnic with bipartisan members of Congress and their families. This year's theme is the summer solstice. The president postponed the event last year amid the family separation crisis at the border.
In the wake of the special counsel's report on election meddling, House Democrats of the Blue Dog Coalition are set to unveil what they call a comprehensive bipartisan proposal to secure U.S. elections, hold Russia accountable, and deter adversaries from future election interference. And the annual World's Ugliest Dog Contest takes place at the Sonoma Marin Fair in California, advocating for pet adoption even for not-so-pretty pooches.
Ah, good cause. Plus, don't forget to tune into The Debrief for an update on all our top stories and The Briefing Room for a breakdown of the latest headlines in politics.
Next to the excitement that's building right here in New York City.
We're counting down to Nick and Liana Walinda defying death this weekend, walking 5 blocks on a tight wire 25 stories above Times Square. The world-famous daredevils filling us in on the last-minute details.
Both of us are walking this cable. It is 3/4 of an inch in diameter. It is about 1,300 feet long. We're 25 stories up. We'll start on opposite ends. We'll meet in the middle. She'll actually sit on that wire. I'll step over her. Then she'll stand back up and we'll make it to opposite ends.
All the Walindas will walk that tight wire live Sunday night at 8 p.m. on ABC.
I'm nervous.
Well, that's all happening later on, but what time is it right now, Janae?
Summertime. And with today's official start of summer, we're checking out fun in the sun getaway ideas that will warm your toes without overheating your credit cards.
June marks peak travel season, but your best bet is booking for July and August, as those months tend to offer the best deals. So let's start with where to go, because of course, it's all about location, location, location. Consider places that are off-peak during summer months, like Mexico and parts of the Caribbean, and destinations where the American dollar is worth more than local currency, so your money goes further. As far as getting there, AAA says gas prices are expected to be lower this summer than last year, driving more than half of Americans to hit the open roads for a getaway. If you're looking to save some time, there's still plenty to get a sweet deal on flights. Before you start booking, enable private browsing when searching flights online. Travel sites can track visits and hike fares based on your search. And make sure you search city, not airport. For instance, flying to New York City, you can choose from JFK, LaGuardia, or Newark.
Traveling to a place like New York, Boston, San Francisco all have alternative airports, and those can really save you money.
And consider nearby cities, like flying into Orlando and driving to Tampa, or vice versa, depending on price. Buying a one-way flight from one airline and flying back on another carrier can lower cost, and the days you choose to travel can make a big difference in how much you save.
It's not the day that you actually do the search, it's the day that you travel. It's the Tuesday departure and the Saturday return. That's what matters.
Also factor in how much you'll pay to stay. Experts suggest booking hotel rooms 2 to 3 weeks in advance, but alternatives like Airbnb and HomeAway can help save money. And while booking weeks, even months ahead is often suggested, don't be afraid to look last minute. Trust me, my family and I scored a deal to Grand Cayman less than a week before traveling back in January. For Aruba, we planned ahead and got a steal just 3 weeks in advance. And we booked flights to Brazil using credit card points less than a month before takeoff. And with the dollar worth nearly 4 Brazilian reals, it made for a thrifty trip.
And so something I always think about when traveling is try to only pack a carry-on. That way you don't need the extra time to check and collect bags. You're more flexible if you miss your flight or need to rebook one. And for parents, trust me, try to exhaust your kids before boarding flights. Run them around the airport if you have to, just so they're tired and they sleep on the flight, so then you can.
So you can also get that rest and relaxation.
Yes.
My Instagram, by the way, is at Kenneth Moten, because you could have taken some pictures from my travel and put it in that story, but you only chose to show yourself traveling around the world.
Travels.
You know what?
Look, everybody needs a getaway. We'll show yours next year.
Thanks.
But that brings us to the question of the day. Where are you heading for a summer trip? What's your favorite destination? And if you have any other travel tips or hacks, tell us in the comments or tweet us at ABC News Live.
What to do with those kids, right?
Right. Or just take some of Kenneth's pictures and tweet them at us. Make them feel good.
They can do that as well.
His pictures were seen.
Happy summer solstice,
11:54 a.m. Eastern Time.
Enjoy it. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.